I'm just so happy we could get together and yeah, let's dive in.
Right. So the first thing I do want to ask you about, because it was in the news recently, I know that a couple of years ago you claimed you were sexually assaulted by someone here in Palm Beach, right? Is where you met this guy, even though he was a former mayor in California. And there were some issues with them getting enough evidence, not just from you, but from a number of the people that were accusing him. I just want to kind of get that out of the way. How do you feel about that? And what is the status of all that?
So I actually don't pay attention to what is in the news. So I don't know exactly specifically what you just saw. And then, sorry, I'm just doing this whole 12 steps, live life present.
Okay.
That's a
So
lot of
do you
motivation.
remember accusing Dominic Papoli of sexual assault?
So I was sexually assaulted by that person. So
Yes. Right.
yeah.
Okay. So, and then I don't know if you saw, because maybe you didn't see, but they decided to drop the case because there wasn't, not because they were dropping the case because of you guys, but there just wasn't enough evidence. So the case is now closed, I guess.
So I believe you're talking about criminal investigation. So criminal investigations, they can open, they can close, like P. Diddy's just opened himself. And just because someone opens up a criminal investigation, that does not mean they're going to be charged. So I've been criminally investigated. I think more so for rape victims specifically who would hear this and who probably have had a lot of turmoil, trauma around that situation. I think what's most important for everyone, I'm just grateful that they could use me to come forward, to have 11 other women come forward, have an open investigation already open without even me knowing about it.
Right.
And I was just brought into that because I did what was right and coming forward and speaking my truth. So what is most important, I think, moving forward from this is doing a civil legal case, civil litigation case. Every person, every victim has a right for civil litigation and bringing the real evidence. I don't know what criminal investigations really look for. I can only say, was the investigators doing their job right? I can only say, did someone handle the evidence properly? I can only say those things.
Mhm.
But I have to say, a lot of investigators were actually removed because they were hurting the case. It was very, very sad to see and witness as someone who is ADHD, wired for justice. And I think maybe we need more ADA compliance in our criminal investigations because there's a lot of illegal things going on in our criminal justice systems that I've been witnessing. And it's really sad. It's really sad. I've gone through a lot of criminal things, being in the public eye, going through that again on my own terms with some other situation. So for rape victims specifically, it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It is April. And I just want to say to all the rape victims out there, live strong, live fiercely. Like my rape victim therapist told me, the best thing I could have ever done for me was just coming forward and reporting it, and the rest is out of my hands. Like I've
Mm.
done what is right for me. So I can't control investigators screwing investigations up. I can't go fire or remove people, but a lot of people have already been removed. And I think every time, like we see on Netflix, our favorite criminal investigator shows, to everyone who loves watching crime shows, we see a lot of investigators who get removed. We see a lot of things start happening in a criminal investigation that never really helps the criminal investigation do its justice. So I think, again, I think our criminal investigators, I think our deputies, I think everyone who is in charge there, but could it have been done better? Probably for the whole group of people who probably will get sexually assaulted further because we have a criminal out. Like, hey, if there's other women that I met who were like, I got raped 11 years ago by this guy, and if they would have put him away, Farrah Abraham would have never gotten raped. Wow, I think those women who came before me that I didn't even know, but by me doing the right thing, I get to learn a lot about this criminal investigative, criminal judicial system that really needs to get better. But I think all the other decades, hundreds of years of women coming forward and saying, I was raped. And most of the time we have this huge criminal investigation. Someone gets a SWAT team out, someone gets all their stuff taken away, like P. Diddy, like the rapist here in my case. And then they let it go. And then eventually they rape more people, they hurt more people. It's really sad to see as a mom. I want to protect my daughter. I want to protect other people's daughters, moms, grandmas. And so, yeah, I'm really sad about that, hearing that. And I do know that there's a press conference this week regards to that.
Mhm.
But that's all I can say in light of women stand strong, victims of sexual assault, men and women, kids, children, grandparents who have been assaulted, stand strong in your own civil case, and you will have more justice for yourself than a criminal justice predicament that has a million hands in a pot and it gets very messy.
Yeah, it's actually interesting what you're saying because I think so many people get wrapped up in the legalese of the whole thing as opposed to doing what is good for them. And you're right. I mean, the fact that you got to be part of that and report it and do what was right for you, open the door for other women, feel this bond. I know the guy has been removed and he lives in Italy now. So, at least for the time being. So, he is not here to hurt anyone else here. So, anyways,
I'm actually not gonna agree with that statement. So he is definitely in America. He is definitely probably sexually assaulting other women everywhere else. He was using wine to rape women. So I just want to say if there's a war on women out there with alcohol, wine, wineries, I would highly be on a lookout. He was removed from the government institutions. He is still being investigated. It's like racketeering, basically, when you're using a government position, sexual assaulting people. It's also like what's it called, sex trafficking in a different way when we look at those things. So yeah, I would highly say when there's a sexual predator out there, also connected with murders, you definitely have to be aware of criminals everywhere. No one is safe. And I'm going to just go on that note. I'm not going to ever say to anyone, you're not safe, because I wish I could have said the same thing with a rapist and a serial predator out there, but that is not safe.